welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. This is behind the scene footage, aka T-Brush Realty. I'm going to take you into one of my restaurants that I like to frequent when I'm on this side of town. Right now we're in Valentine, okay? So if you are new to Charlotte and you're looking for some places where you can eat, check out Co. It's off of Waverly Walk Avenue. Normally I like to get the edamame gyoza and the rice with the sauce. It's so good. I started not to get it, but I was just like, I'm over here, I might as well grab it while I'm here. I just left my open house, y'all, so let's go ahead inside. Alright, y'all, so we are waiting on the food to get done. So I just put my order in and I decided I'd rather come sit outside. I'm going to pan this around so I can see where I am. Okay, so y'all, come out here sometimes when I'm in the vicinity. The office isn't too far from here. As you can see, this is like a waterfall. It's not going today, but you can sit here, you will get wet because it does splash, alright? It does splash, y'all. So, with that being said, I'm going to sit here and see what we can talk about. And then I'm going to go ahead and check on my food. Charlotte. I was going to talk about the situation with Donald Trump, but let's talk about Charlotte. So y'all, I just left an open house and we had a very high turnout. I basically blow dried my hair, y'all, as you can see, so this is the outcoming results of that. Probably will try to flat iron it at some point this week. I don't know when. I might actually twist it out. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so like if you haven't been to Charlotte, I would say check it out, especially if you are like in one of those inner cities. We get a lot of people that frequent here from New York. That's one thing I can tell you. Most people that you meet here in Charlotte are not from Charlotte. That's another thing. Charlotte is starting to become a diversified melting pot, so it's kind of like a country city or country city New York. About 1 million people come here per year. As far as what the real estate market is looking like, high turnout for yesterday's open house and today's open house. Both of those open houses have offers. The one from yesterday has an offer and the one for today has an offer. So you could end up in a multiple offer situation. What does that mean for the seller? That's a good thing for the seller, depending on the circumstances. Not always, the seller's not always looking at the highest bidder, so I do have to say that. It's not always about who's presenting the most amount of money. Sometimes it could be circumstances if they need to lease their home back from you, which you can actually do that. So say they want to sell, but they're not ready to move out until maybe 60 days from now or 30 days from, you know, when they could close. They will be willing to actually lease the home back from you after closing, and that is something that we will put into the offer to purchase contract agreement. What else can I tell you? So with these multiple offer situations, like I said, it depends on circumstances. It's not always about who's presenting the most amount of money. Another thing, some sellers they don't want to sell to investment properties or investment companies. So if your plans are to purchase the property and then turn it over into a rental, it depends on that neighborhood. Like if it's a neighborhood where a lot of family values are rooted in that neighborhood, then they may say they're not interested in selling to anybody that is a company that is basically trying to turn it into rentals. So that's another thing just to be mindful of. I know the open house that I just left, that's something that is taking place in the neighborhood, and I can tell that that is a very family-oriented neighborhood. It's kind of sad to see that a lot of neighborhoods are going that way, especially here in Charlotte. This is more of a family-friendly oriented city for the most part. Now, do you have your parts that are questionable? Yes, you do. Let me get my phone because I want to see. I need to keep track of what time it is so I can time when I should go and check on my food, y'all. That's not to say that you're not going to find crime here. There's definitely crime here in Charlotte, unfortunately, and it's just a matter of people's mentality. And so you want to stay in, a place where you feel comfortable. That's definitely important for people that are, coming out of town. They don't know anything about the area. I always say check out the school districts, check out the school zones, see what they rate the schools. Sometimes that can help you out a whole lot. As a realtor, we can't really tell you or steer you into where you should look because that is basically against real estate law. We can only, give you the information that you need to help you make the best informed decision for yourself and your family. How do I like Charlotte? I like Charlotte a whole lot better than where I came from. I used to live in Richmond, Virginia. I hated that place. I didn't like those people. I didn't like their mentality. It was just a lot of that same crab in a barrel behavior and mentality. You will find that here. I think it's prevalent everywhere, probably all across America, where people just have that stigma attached to their way of life. But here, because it's more diversified, it's more spread out, it is not as bad as it was in Richmond. I'll just say that. I think every city has that. Unfortunately, no matter where you go, you're going to run into that. And that's with any country that you go to. You're going to have people that are homeless. Yes, there's a homeless population here in Charlotte. You can definitely see them under the bridges, near the interstates. They're heavy concentrated in certain areas. Yes, there is panhandling that goes on here. Even in the more high affluent areas, you will see panhandling going on. And I think that just has a lot to do with the economy right now. There's a lot to do here in Charlotte. That's one thing I will tell you. The traffic volume here gets very heavy around 5:30, even 6 o'clock. I would say it starts off at around 3 to 3:30. The traffic starts to get heavy. So Monday through Friday, if you're out and about, you might want to try to avoid those times of being out on the interstate if you can, because you're going to be stuck in traffic. A lot of times clients like to book showings around that time because that's the time they get off, but I can tell you that they're going to spend majority of their time stuck in traffic trying to get to the showing. And so it just puts a lot more stress on them and sometimes the realtor, because we're trying to make that destination in time. And there can be a traffic accident, there can just be a lot of backed up traffic, and a lot of unforeseen delays can take place. So with that being said, just be mindful of that. That's one thing that goes on here in Charlotte. I-77 has a very heavy traffic pattern. A lot of times on the weekends, it's not as heavy, but it can be. I've seen on Saturdays, sometimes even on Sundays, where traffic can be a little heavy on the interstate. Another thing that I can tell you about Charlotte, there's always something to do. They have a lot of parks here, so if you're into like nature walks, if you're into bike riding, if you are into like family-friendly entertainment, there's a lot of that goes on here. They have a lot of food vendors, food trucks that frequent the area, a lot of taco trucks. They're even at gas stations, you all. The Mexicans definitely have a very strong presence here. The Hispanic population is very high here, and it's growing. A lot of the schools are highly, populated with an influx of the immigrants that have come through since the borders have been opened by way of the Biden administration. What else can I tell you? I can tell you that the job market here, this is supposed to be like a big banking industry. Charlotte was ranked as #1 as the banking industry. I think they dropped down to #2. They might be climbing up to #1 now. They do have the Truist Bank here. One of my clients actually works for Truist. They have the Truist baseball field out here. They have the Spectrum Center here, which is where the Charlotte Hornets play. They also have the Panthers Stadium here, which is where the NFL Panthers play. The Bojangles Coliseum is here. And so I know the Bank of America Stadium is also here. So that's where Beyonce was here a few months ago. They actually shut the entire, vicinity down when she came. They let people go home early from work because they knew that the traffic pattern was going to be horrendous. So a lot of people got off at like maybe 3 o'clock that day. I think Jay-Z, he actually came to either the Spectrum Center or the Bojangles Coliseum, one or the other. So they do have a lot of places out here that you can go to for entertainment. Right now, where I'm at, I'm near the Carolina Ale House, if you can see that. A lot of different places to dine, a lot of places where you can take your children if they're into like those, I guess, places where they can jump around and have fun. They have a lot of that here. What can I tell you about the shopping? They have the South Park Mall, which is a very big mall. It's really spacious. They have a Nordstrom's in the mall. Some of your more high-end name brands, such as Louis Vuitton, Pandora, Neiman Marcus is there. Let me see, what else do they have? They also have the Concord Mills Mall, which is in the northern part of Charlotte. Concord Mills Mall actually does have like a go-kart racing place where you can take your children, or if you want to, you can see the carnival there. They do have a mini carnival at the mall. And they do have Carolina Place Mall, which is in Pineville. That's in the southern part of Charlotte. They do have a North Lake Mall, and the North Lake Mall is kind of struggling a little bit. But if like you're a small business owner and you want to get your brand into the mall, you might want to try to check out North Lake Mall, because a lot of their businesses have been pulling out as of recently. What else can I tell you? So there are different parts to Charlotte. Like right now I'm in Ballantyne. The zip code is 28277. You have the Steel Creek location, which is 28273 or 28278. Out in the 28278 area, you're going to find the Palisades. That's more of a high affluent gated community that features your own golf club, the country club. They do have annual fashion show, and I've frequented that twice since I've been here. What else can I tell you? Concord is the northern part of Charlotte, as I've already mentioned. There's Matthews, which is 28105. There's Indian Trail, which is 28079. More of a country scenic route. Waxhaw 28173 is the zip code out there. High end, very expensive, very nice area. 28110 is going to be Monroe, which is more country. 28112, and then 28210 is going to be the South Park. That's a highly affluent, old money out that way. One of my closings took place there, and you'll find a lot of shopping, dining, and a lot of restaurants there, a lot of business people out that way. Let's see, if you're looking for, what else could you look for? There is the Myrtle Beach. Okay, Myrtle Beach is located in South Carolina. So basically where we are, we're not too far from South Carolina. I would say if you travel maybe 20 miles out from here or 30 miles out from here, you'll hit the South Carolina border. From where I live, I can get to the beach in about 3.5 hours. So you have the northern part of Myrtle Beach, and the southern part of Myrtle Beach. They do have a carnival there as well. Hopefully I'll get to go there this year, and I'll get some footage for you all so you can see what Myrtle Beach is like. Trying to think what else I can tell you. Check out Camp North End. I don't know the zip code for that, but it's not too far from Graham Street. Midtown is another nice place that you can look forward to. Midwood. All of this is going to be going towards Uptown. So they call it Uptown because it sits on a hill, but it's like the downtown area of Charlotte. It's a pretty clean city for the most part, but it does have its parts that gets a little questionable. And as you can clearly see here, this is very unique atmosphere. Let me see what time it is, because I think it's time for me to go get my food. So if you are new to Charlotte, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a licensed realtor. You know, I've actually helped families that have moved out of Virginia that relocated to Charlotte. So I've been here for quite a while now, so I'm pretty familiar with the area. I made that my number one thing is to, when I moved here, is to go out and start venturing the area, and I memorized the zip codes for a lot of these areas. A lot of people have been moving out to Albemarle, and Albemarle is about a 20-minute drive to 40-minute, depending on where you live in Charlotte, and it's actually up and coming. They have a lot of things that are taking place there. I actually had some clients to close out that way. And let me see, Statesville, you have Salisbury is another area on the outskirts of Charlotte, as well as Gastonia or Gaston County. A lot of people are also moving out to Kannapolis because Charlotte is getting a little too expensive for some people. They're not able to afford it. Property taxes have gone up for everybody here because of the influx of people that are moving from out of town. And so what happens is, even though Charlotte might have that going on, people from out of town might be getting paid more working from home. They decided they want to relocate to, for them, an area that doesn't cost as much to live. The cost of living is cheaper for them, so they come here, which drives up the price for the people that are already here, which causes the people already here to move further out from Charlotte. So if that makes any sense, I can tell you that the people here are, to me, are friendlier than a lot of other places, especially Richmond, Virginia. There's no comparison. Now, I did run into a couple of people that relocated here from Richmond. One of them I used to work with, another one I met them at a car dealership back in Richmond, and they were still working at a car dealership here. So it's very interesting that you'll run into a lot of people that you thought you got away from, but you know, these are not people that I had any issues with, so it was okay. I also have a friend that moved out this way. A couple of people have moved out this way that I know. I have a couple of cousins that moved here. So people are definitely coming here in droves, you all. I would highly recommend it. I'm trying to get, you know, a few more people to move out here, but it's up to them, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and close up because I think my food is probably ready by now. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I just wanted to come on here and chit chat a little bit, and I will talk to you later. All right, I'm signing out. Y'all stay blessed.